Hello and welcome to evLiving. I'm Christine and today we're here in one of the centres of the UK biotech industry, talking to some of its leaders to find out what made them switch to electric vehicles. You may be thinking of buying an electric car, but you may be unsure whether it's the right thing for you or whether it's the right time, and hopefully some of their experiences will help you make the right decision. Today I'm here with Chris Torrance from PhoreMost, who was one of the first Tesla owners in the UK. Chris, tell me a little bit about PhoreMost first of all.
Yes, we're a biotech company. We are developing drugs for a range of diseases, and we pride ourselves in going after targets that big pharma think are too hard and difficult. Pharma tend to like easy targets rather than the right targets, and Cambridge is the centre of understanding what drives cancer, for example. So the Human Genome Project, massively important, but we still haven't translated that into new medicines, and that's very much because most of the important disease targets are very hard to drug. So we are dedicated to that aim, and drugs are really just shapes that dock to target proteins. They're like handholds and toeholds on a mountain, and we can get up close and find these shapes much more quickly than other companies. So we're a startup out of Cambridge with the technology to find these hidden handholds on hard to climb mountains.
Okay, so that's clearly quite a challenging area involving sort of delving into the unknown, and in a way it's similar to the leap that you made into the electric vehicle market around about 6 years ago.
I suppose so, yeah.
And what made you take that plunge?
Well, it was about 6 years ago. I never really remembered until you
looked at the number
it.
plate.
So it was, very early back then for electric vehicles, but I had started a company before, PhoreMost, and that was quite successful. It was a transition period, and I thought, that was a lot of hard work. Financially did reasonably well out of that, and I could afford to, be one of the first to buy what were then quite expensive cars. But I figured, this is the way society needs to go. It's not perfect by any means yet. People will criticise electric cars for not being perfect for the environment. I accept that, but technology will improve, and I think somebody has to go first to make technology better and cheaper for everyone. So that was kind of a driver for me.
And at that time as well, there were very few charging points around. I think there were actually 94 Tesla charging points in the whole country.
Yeah.
How did you deal with getting around and worrying about whether you were going to make it?
I mean, there are other chargers besides the Tesla chargers. So the network, excuse me, so I mean, if you're travelling mostly from home, which I do most days, I have a charger at home, and I think the government still has a scheme to support you putting in a charging unit. So both my wife and I now have electric cars, so most of my travel is never an issue, but if we do go longer distances, you just have to plan a bit, and luckily Tesla do have fast chargers in reasonable numbers now, but even back then there were some chargers, but just very annoying that they're quite slow. And different organisations would run them. Often councils will run them, but other private companies will run them as well, and you'd need like hundreds of different plastic cards to carry, and I only carry 4 or 5, so finding one which you can actually use is quite difficult, even though there were quite a number.
Did you ever get there and find it wasn't working?
Quite often, yeah. Tesla's never usually a problem, but these other ones, the slower ones, quite often wouldn't be working, or at least they were shiny for a while, but became very unshiny quite quickly.
Right, okay. And how about getting used to the car and the way that works?
That was no problem at all. I mean, it's a very easy car to drive. I mean, any electric car would be, easy to drive. It's pretty much one pedal, because even the braking happens as soon as you take your foot off the accelerator. Yeah.
What about the lack of dials and the way it's so intuitive? Did you find you had to get used to that?
Not really.
No.
It wasn't a conscious thing. No, it's just a very easy car to drive. When you get into another car now, it's like, I've got to do quite a bit more, haven't I?
Yes. And did you buy it as a company car?
No, personally.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Okay. And so you've never felt this range anxiety that a lot of people talk about?
I think at the beginning,
Yeah.
you kind of get over it.
Uh-huh.
There's other things you get over too, and that is, how fast it goes.
Yeah,
I mean,
tell us about that.
Well, at the beginning, it is, you've never driven anything quite as fast, or at least not as fast accelerated.
It's responsive, yeah.
And it's, like a brand new toy and just like bombing around everywhere. But you soon get used to it, and that novelty wears off a bit. You drive more normally.
You don't, because I often wonder about the fast mode, whether you might suddenly shoot into the car in front if you're in this town and not thinking about what you were doing. You've
If you put your foot down.
Yeah. Okay. What advice would you give to someone thinking about buying an electric car?
Well, I wouldn't really think twice about it. I mean, it support's much better now. Charging, numbers of charging points are much better. The range is better.
Mm.
So you mentioned range anxiety. I mean, that is something that goes away, but the anxiety, I would think, is less important for most people, given that the network's better now.
Right. Okay.
But I do think the batteries or the cars or something is improved too. So I haven't. When I bought mine, the range of this model, I think, was. I mean, it's never as much as the makers say, by the way. So they said 300. It was only 250 at best.
Okay.
For everyday driving.
Yeah.
But I think they quote more like 350 now. So I think they're all getting better, and even the smaller ones like the Nissan Leafs, it used to be run about towns for 25 miles, but now they're doing over 100 miles. I think RCBO just bought a Nissan Leaf, and it's easy driving 50 miles each way, 100 miles a day.
Very
So
right.
I think it's just a lot better than it used to be back then as well.
And what feedback would you give to Elon Musk?
Well, I mean, everybody can say injudicious things sometimes, and he certainly has. But I mean, I do admire how he has broken new ground. He doesn't. He could sort of rest on his laurels. Why is it that somebody that was a sort of made his money with a banking app, then decides to go build cars, and then goes builds rocket ships? I mean, there's a special kind of just don't adhere to anyone's rules kind of philosophy I like. But maybe megalomania does take over sometimes.
In terms of feedback about the car.
Oh, the car. It's about him. Sorry. Well, no. I mean, it's not. It wasn't, in my view, a compromise. The car. So, I mean, I think he said that. When he was pitching it first, that it's just, in my view, better than most cars. It wasn't cheap when I bought it, but much cheaper now. For other people. So.
In many ways, it does take someone who thinks like that to create something so different and forward-thinking, I think, doesn't it? So.
Yeah, well, I'm lucky to be in that position. So, figured we all should try and do a bit.
Yeah.
And I'm probably bad in other ways, but I figured this is a direction we all need to go.
Okay.
So.
Thank you very much, Chris.
You're welcome.